folks who are watching the stream presently. You are looking at Joe Lane, also David Worthington, in the studio here at Bikesmith, and they're on a media tour to promote this coming Saturday's the Run for the Red, White, and Blue to benefit Chennault Aviation and Military Museum. Joe and David, good morning, my friends. How are you?
Good morning.
Good to see you, Rick.
Well, thank you. Let's get started. I like to go back to the beginning. That's usually a good place to start in a book. The Run for the Red, White, and Blue. This is the 5th one, correct?
This is the 9th one. Yes. And you've been there for all of them. This is last year was virtual, but we're back real on the ground. But this is our 9th annual.
Yeah, boots on the ground, literally, and to benefit Chennault Aviation and Military Museum this Saturday. Go back to the beginning. When and why and how did this thing come together?
We ran in the first one.
Oh, really?
And there were 30 runners.
30 runners.
And they did not make money.
Right. Okay. So the first one 9 years ago was just a race, a 5K, and this is so much more. And by the way, we encourage folks to go to the Facebook page to get all the information that you need to know. And we are at Bikesmith Studio. All right, so you ran in the first one. Big deal. You broke a sweat. You placed. You exercised. So what led to running in the second one?
What we did is we the museum put that particular race on, and they lost money. So David and I went to Nell Calloway, and we said, Nell, let us take this race. We'll do this race for you ourselves. Take it off of you, and we'll do the race. And we don't know how much money we'll make, but we won't cost you anything. And so we started in doing the race ourselves in 2013, and it's just grown from a 5K, 1K walk race to a big patriotic celebration and everything now. So,
right. and it's going to be this Saturday. So let's stop and visit too. A lot of folks make the assumption and presumption, and to use Proverbs, through presumption comes nothing but strife. We know what assumption is. We won't go there this morning. But let's not take for granted Chennault Aviation and Military Museum. Some folks presume it's always been there and has always been fully functioning. That's not the case because of forerunners, pun intended, and also stewards of today. So talk about the museum as its nonprofit status and why it needs fundraising.
Well, I think it needs fundraising for a period of time. I suppose most folks know that it's a free museum, but when you think of museums, you also think of paying to get in. Well, they've never charged any kind of admission. So there's been private contributions, there have been other fundraisers, and they were attempting this first one on their own 9 years ago and lost money.
Sure.
We haven't lost money since.
Pleasantly surprised, right?
Absolutely. And a museum is a museum where you go in and you look at stuff. But this thing is so much more. It's a real treasure in this area. I mean, they serve veterans. They serve veterans' families, PTSD classes. They have literally gotten several millions of dollars of additional benefits for veterans through their outreach program there. They have a van to take veterans to the VA hospitals. And of course, the people coming in, I like to tell that there's lots and lots of young people that come into that museum every year. And I think when they come, they realize a couple of things. Number one is that heroes don't wear capes. Heroes wear camouflage. And it could be that one day, that we talk about freedom is not free, and we say that so quickly, but freedom is not free. And some of these young folks that are in there looking at these heroes, one day they may be called upon to do that exact same thing to preserve the freedoms that we have. So that museum just serves so many, and it's local. I mean, it is local. There's no state funding, there's no federal funding, which means there's no state or federal control.
Right.
But our mission or our passion is, as we say, is to keep the tiger flying, to keep the doors open to that museum.
Joe Lane, David Worthington, our guest here this morning for the Run for the Red, White, and Blue event celebration that's going to be happening this Saturday at Chennault Aviation and Military Museum. Besides the race, and again, this is one race fits all, because I haven't been in a 5K there, David, since probably. But yet, that shouldn't preclude anybody from participating, because we did it last year, the virtual race. Talk about either the active participants or the passive but involved participants. How can they get involved?
You go ahead.
Okay. You can, if you're not able to come out, you can register. Register, you can do that by coming to the museum. You can go to the museum's website, click events, and you can register that way. But you can register for a virtual run, which basically says you can do it on your couch if you care to do that.
In other words, I got this, no sweat.
That's right. But we have a 5K walk, a 5K run, then we have a 1K. So if you want to do something, a short stroll, in the last 300 yards of the race, we have 4 by 6 foot American flags. We call it the flags of freedom. And you either walk through, whether you're doing the short walk or the long walk run, you finish up 300 yards of these 4 by 6 American flags blowing in the breeze. And it will bring chills down your spine, because we want to make this, it's a walk run, but it's a chance to celebrate America, and it's a chance to honor our servicemen and women, especially those that gave the ultimate sacrifice. So there's a lot of patriotic music and more flags than you've ever seen, color guard. It's quite an event.
It's this Saturday, too. And by the way, I think since we're historians, we have David Worthington, Joe Lane, both Vietnam veterans here in the Bike Smith studio. But Memorial Day is originally Decoration Day, and it's, let's get real, it wasn't a time for the celebration that it's turned into now, but there's nothing we can do to stop that. But what you're talking about, Joe, is honoring, too, because Decoration Day, this is for those that, and their families that have lost loved ones in war. And so it's a somber holiday, but that's not the way it is right now in 2021, and we'll go along with that as well, but at least, and still keep the reverence.
That's right. I mean, if you want to celebrate it however you want to, you have a cookout, you do whatever you want to do. But this gives you an opportunity on Saturday morning, this Saturday, to do something different, to do something. What can I do to show that I love this country? What can I do to thank those people that have done things in the past? What you can do is come out and be a part of this walk, be a part of this run. I tell folks, I just want you to come one time, because if you'll come once, you'll come back, because the passion and everything, it'll be there. You'll get a feeling that you haven't had in a long time as you see the flags, you hear the music, you see the color guards, all the thing that goes on in addition to the walk run. And you again, and you've already said, Rick, you do not have to be a veteran runner. If you're just someone who wants to come out and take a short stroll, ending up through those flags of freedom, I'll tell you, it'll be very meaningful to you. And
the museum will be open, I would presume, to Saturday as well.
For tours, yes.
Right.
All right, now. You have notes there. We're gonna stop the first episode because it's 7:32 and make way for another episode. Any of the notes? Give thanks to. I mean, I notice you're wearing a pretty fine sweater vest there with Daily Press and Chevron for being the Evans family saying, you need help? Okay, I'm in.
They've been so kind to us to be our corporate sponsors for this. Evans Oil Company. Benny will be mad at me mentioning his name.
I know he would,
because he doesn't like that. But the Chevron dealers, Daily Press, they have stepped up and provided for us in a lot of different ways. But one way, obviously, is a nice monetary contribution to help make this thing. To make this thing work. So we so much have appreciated partnering with them over these years.
All right, we're going to come back and visit. I know if I use the word hootenanny, I'm thinking. Joe, did you go to hootenannies? I know David did. Didn't
I know about hootenannies.
You do.
Yes.
Well, we got a hootenanny song that for David, and we'll kill the stream right now. We'll visit here at Bike Smith Studios and take any question or comments that you may have. Peter, Paul, and Mary. And how many times?